Welcome to Knowledge Nexus channel, and today we are going to dive into the more detailed applications of ChatGPT, and there are 10 best ways to do it. If you are ready, let's get started. Before we go further, please do not forget to click subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell for similar educational contents. Using applications like ChatGPT requires some care. Part of the difficulty is that ChatGPT's human-like conversation abilities can be deceptive. Feeling like you're talking to a real person encourages you to rely on conversational expectations that may not hold with a machine. For instance, we generally expect that most people do not make up facts. Large language models, however, routinely violate this expectation by providing fluent answers that may be totally wrong. The metacognitive ability to know what you don't know is underdeveloped in these applications. Another expectation we have is that verbal fluency tracks other aspects of intelligence. We expect that someone who can spout lines from Shakespeare, explain quantum computing, and give a proof of the prime number theorem rhyming verse would also be able to count. Thus, naively treating LLMs like a really smart and knowledgeable person is likely to backfire. 1. Create your own Socratic tutor. By far, the most common use readers reported was using an LLM as a personal tutor. Asking ChatGPT to explain tricky concepts, unfamiliar code, or problems seems like an area where LLMs might do all right, and the only reasonable substitute, a human expert, is notoriously expensive and in short supply. If you do this in conjunction with a class or textbook, the risks of mistakes also seem attenuated, since you still have a primary source to compare against. Challenge explanations that don't jive with what you've read in the book, rather than taking everything the AI says at face value. Number 2. Practice chatting in new languages. The next most common way people used LLMs to learn better was as a language tutor. This seems like a task LLMs are well equipped for. Whatever their other flaws, they can produce grammatically correct text. Many people set up their conversations with ChatGPT so that the AI could go back and forth between the language they are learning and English explanations when they got confused. Likely, those explanations may be imperfect, but human tutors also often give incorrect accounts of the grammar and vocabulary they manage to use proficiently. Another use is rewriting texts to be at a more beginner-friendly level of reading comprehension. Graded readers and comprehensive input are great strategies for learning to read in another language. Unfortunately, learner materials are often sparse or uninteresting. You use an LLM to transform a text you want to read that is written at a fluent native level into something appropriate for your current ability. Number 3. Generate summaries of longer texts. Summaries are another area where LLMs seem to excel. Consumer applications already exist for generating summaries of articles or research documents. Several readers said they were using these AI tools to provide digests of their substantial reading material, helping them keep top of developments. Dialogue with long documents. LLMs also can help you ask questions in longer texts. For instance, when reading a scientific paper, you could query the sample size or ask for the methodology or results. Consensus does this while offering references, so the risk of mistakes is double-check the LLM's work. While there are more fanciful usages, such as people asking ChatGPT to impersonate a given language dialogue, I suspect the ability to ask natural language questions in documents or see replies with references is a useful tool for dealing with large texts. Number 5. Rewrite texts at different levels of explanatory depth. A major difficulty in following expert thinking is that most expert-level text is written for other experts. Concepts are unexplained, context is lacking, jargon abounds. This means that most people must rely on translators, such as general market nonfiction or science writers, who present what experts think in a more readable format. There seem to be two approaches to using AI tools here. One is simply asking an LLM to explain popular concepts in simple terms, such as explain quantum computing on Nathan. The other is to provide ChatGPT with text or explanation and ask the AI to rewrite it. Several years ago, I remember reading Tyler Cowen's Marginal Revolution blog, perplexed by his frequent unexplained use of the term Straussian to describe ideas or But since a lot of coding is relatively routine, the ability to have a machine create the first draft for an algorithm clearly saves a lot of time. Number 9. Generate flashcards based on text. Tentative. Flashcards are a powerful learning tool. They're also a pain in the butt to make. Some readers said they were using ChatGPT to generate flashcards for subjects they're studying. This seems well within the LLM abilities as a calculator for words. Thus, with the correct prompts, you could get fairly good results here, provided you're inputting the material you wish to see transformed into flashcards and not expecting the LLM to get the facts on its own. See below. However, given the difficulty of making good flashcards, I wouldn't enter any into my Anki without reviewing them first. Nonetheless, making flashcards is tedious, so getting a first draft that I later review might speed up the process considerably. The risks seem relatively limited if you confirm the card's correctness before putting them in your deck. Number 10. Use it to organize your notes. Advanced. As someone who does a lot of research, I often waste a lot of time trying to locate my notes. Robert Martin finds the same problem. Searching via keywords is fraught because sometimes you can't remember the exact term you used, even if the meaning is roughly the same. Martin solves this problem by using the embedding feature of LLMs. While not strictly ChatGPT, this tool from the same family of natural language processing techniques allows you to find semantically related notes rather than exact keyword matches. Personalized LLMs that live on your hard drive and access your existing data may be a valuable application. I'd love to be able to search things I know I've seen but can't quite recall where. The thing that you should be careful is don't expect AI to get citations right. While LLMs sometimes mess up facts, they seem abysmal at getting citations right. They frequently invent authors, papers, studies, and research. I wouldn't use a LLM for any research that I needed to cite, and I would always double-check the sources it does provide. Similarly, I wouldn't ask an LLM to give me a reading list or references to specific books or authors unless possibly the authors were quite famous and likely to be well represented in the dataset. That's for today, and I hope you learned something from this video, and see you in the next video. See you.